helping our youths, parents, and guardians bounce back from challenges and be empowered. Eliminating crime and violence so that Jamaica will be a place of choice to live, work, raise our families, and conduct business. Here's your host, Royton Mclaren.
All right, welcome, good night. All right, welcome, good night to another night's program on Bess 100 FM, Youth Resilience and Empowerment. I am your host, Royton Mclaren. I am very happy for another night, another day, another year that God has really given us the chance to be alive and His grace. So we must be grateful for what the Lord has done for us. Tonight with me is a wonderful lady, one that is driven by the love and the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and a desire to manifest purpose. Mrs. Rashina Anderson lived by the philosophy, in every situation, please God first. Mrs. Anderson gracefully wears a warm personality with care, compassion, and kindness. She is a woman of integrity who will lead with solution-oriented focus, with a penchant for success. She has worked in several capacities in various organizations and currently serves as the national president of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education. She is a guidance counselor at the Marcus Maceo High School, which is also her alma mater. A motivational speaker, author, mentor, mother, and wife. She, however, delights herself in being recognized most of all as an ambassador for Christ. In every area that she has served, Mrs. Anderson displays a spirit of excellent dedication and commitment to serve. She strongly believes in helping others to become the best version of themselves, and as such, she utilizes her skills to make a difference wherever possible. This is a great woman, and very pleased to have such a woman on my program. Good night, Mrs. Anderson. Happy to have you.
Good night, Sir McLaren.
All right.
It's a pleasure to be with you this evening.
Of course. And I'm really happy to have you on this program here. Right, social profile, and, a woman of God, a woman of integrity. Right, and the type of brother I know you have, you're as solid as a rock. What I want to, you are the national president of the Guidance Counselor Association in Education. But before we get there, would you tell us first, probably want to know a little bit about you, probably was this your career choice at first that you want was to be a counselor, because I know you're a counselor. Could you tell us a little about that?
Okay. Well, to be honest, I developed the love for counseling while I was in high school. I would have had experiences while growing up. Let me say I was born and raised in Clarendon. I'm a proud Caledonian girl. And so I developed this passion in high school based on experiences that I would have had in my family. And I had a need and a desire of understanding human behavior. So it was not my first choice. Actually, I really do love business and administration. But along the way, I developed a passion for counseling as well and helping others, as well as getting help for myself. And so that is where it all started.
Okay. Right. So, as you said, business was your first choice, but so get involved, probably basically what I said, so get involved with other things like, maybe talking to people, it allows you to shift to become a counselor. And I don't think you have regretted being a counselor.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
All right, tell us some of your most enjoyable moment being a counselor.
Well, there are so many experiences that I could share, but the beauty for me in being a counselor is being able to help others. I've been able to reach so many students, so many children at different levels, and to make an impact in their lives by guiding them, sharing, encouraging messages and examples to them based on my own personal experience and my own life. So I do enjoy being able to interact with young people, and not just young people, because being a counselor, you are not just limited to one particular age group. But once persons realize that you have that persona and that you're approachable and so forth, persons tend to reach out to you and they will confide in you. And I really do enjoy helping others, just seeing persons evolving and becoming a better version of themselves. It makes me happy to know that others are happy.
All right. Being a counselor then, I know probably a woman of integrity, a woman seems to be very ambitious. At any time, probably within your mind that you said, I would like to serve in other capacity, maybe as a PR, as a president, no other president, or that at any time on your mind to, I would like to help at the highest level?
In regards to the association?
Right.
To be honest, initially, no. Initially, I never had such interest or desire. What I knew I had, though, is a heart for service. I've always loved to help. And wherever I find that I have skills that can make a difference, I'm always willing to serve. And so even in the association, the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, when I first became a mentor, I never had any intention to serve any at all. But then the region that I was a part of was, at that point, they needed to reactivate, to rebuild. And so the person who was in charge then was reaching out for volunteers. And so that was when the first position was laid on me, and the request that was made of me was to be parish president. It was my first time because I was also a new member, but I took the opportunity and I served as best as I possibly could. And so I never really thought of being where I am today because I'm a behind-the-scenes person. I really prefer to work behind the scenes, and I enjoy seeing the results. But over time, there are others who would have seen the work that was done. They would have seen results, and hence I'm where I am today.
Right. The person that I think you are, I think God has not made a mistake. Is the point, because there are times in our life that we wanted to do something, to go another way, another road, but then God said, this is where I want you to be, this is where I want you to go. But I think based on the faith that you have in God and your Christian thing, I think God really wanted you to head this organization. I think it's not a mistake, you being there.
I don't think so either. And if I may say, Sir Mclaren, that when this nomination was done, I would have done several things to run away from it. I must be honest. Okay. And I know some members are listening tonight, but I'm being very honest.
So I'm right.
I would have sent out applications for several things, maybe even the thought of migrating to counsel overseas, and I would have done several things just to try, for something to come up that maybe I can say, okay, I will not be able to serve at this level. But the Lord had other plans, and I yield to him.
Oh, praise the Lord that you didn't hard near half that or stiffen your neck. All right. I know there's a lot of persons out there don't really know much about, before we come to the president, don't know much about the counselor, because a lot of persons see the guidance counselors in school, right? Could you share a little bit with us, right, some of the roles and function that really operate within the educational system or within the school?
All right. So our the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, our mission is really to focus on our members. We facilitate their intellectual and professional development of guidance counselors. So we continuously provide professional development sessions and workshops and counseling services for our guidance counselors. So we are really a membership association. However, we do know that the job of the guidance counselor is not limited to our association, but we serve in our various educational institutions across the island, and our job would entail catering to our stakeholders, our children, our parents, our teachers. And so while our focus mainly, or the nature of our job, would come out in what we do in the various institutions. So we do individual counseling, group counseling, career development, and so forth within our school environment. As an association, we serve our nation, as our motto states, we care, we share, we make others aware. So we are continuously making persons aware of what we do, of how to live, how to develop better lifestyle, how to become the best version of themselves. And so you will find through our regions that our counselors are engaged in several activities. They are involved in clubs and societies. They are involved in service organizations. They are serving as mental health practitioners, and they continue to give their service not just in their schools, but they're serving in their churches as well. And so as an association, we continue to facilitate the growth and development of our counselors, so we are able to effectively serve the various stakeholders around us in the nation.
All right, I think what you have said, Councillor, that tells us that there are a tremendous work that the councillors are doing within our school. But before we move on to our president, this time we hop on a break. We're going to take a short break, and we will be right back shortly. Just take a short break, just hold. Thank you.
Best 100.5 FM brings you youth empowerment and resilience, a 30-minute program with Royton Mclaren every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Your Monday nights will not be the same again. Managing stress, trauma? Let's talk on youth empowerment and resilience with Royton Mclaren on Best 100.5 FM every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Best 100.5 FM brings you youth empowerment and resilience, a 30-minute program with Royton Mclaren every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Your Monday nights will not be the same again. Managing stress, trauma? Let's talk on youth empowerment and resilience with Royton Mclaren on Best 100.5 FM every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m.
All right, welcome back to Youth Resilience and Empowerment here on Best 100 FM, and I would say your station of choice. Tonight, you are listening to your host, Royton Mclaren, with me, a wonderful woman of God, a woman of integrity, a woman that Jamaica needs at this time, And it's none other we have on our line here than Mrs. Rashida Anderson. She's the president of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education. And in our first segment, she told us that counseling wasn't her first choice, was business. But then I think God saw different than what she had in her mind. And she joined the association, now became national president. It wasn't her intention, will to be the president. But when God acts on our lives, we have to do what God says. And I can say to the person that she's a very humble woman and a woman that do what she's doing well. And she told us the many things that guidance counselor is doing in the school, right? So guidance counselor is a strong weapon and the background cornerstone, basically what she's saying of the school. At this time, we are going to hear from the president, Mrs. Anderson. What are some of the things that she'll be doing now as the president? I know that she has some things in hand. So, Mrs. Anderson, we are back.
Yes, Mr. McLaren.
Right. I know you sit there now for a few days, I wouldn't say 1 month, and as the president. Would you tell us some of the things that you plan to do as a president throughout the 7 regions throughout this year?
Right, most certainly. Let me start by sharing with you that our theme for this year is Stronger Together through Perseverance and Integrity.
Wonderful, great.
Yes, and we have a team that is ready and committed to serve and to work throughout the year. And so coming up is our first event. We're looking forward to our Health and Wellness Week starting the 21st to the 27th of January under the theme Recharging for More in 2024. And so we'll be focusing on our health and wellness in all areas, mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, professionally. And so that's our first event coming up, followed by, we have our peer counselors conference coming up in February 20th, and that will be to the western end of the island. And so we will be reaching out to all the schools in the western end to come on out to that conference. Throughout the year, we also will be having healing camps or week of prayer and so forth to continue to support and strengthen our guidance counselors to serve as best as possible throughout this year. We know the challenges in our schools continue to increase, the social issues and our daily tasks continue to increase. But we, as an association, will be providing as much support as we possibly can to keep our members energized and going throughout the year. We also have coming up some major events that we would love the entire Jamaica to get on board with and to come on out and to support us. And one of those events will be our benefit concert, Counselors and Friends in Concert, that we're looking forward to in June around the Father's Day period, where counselors will be coming out to show their creativity and their talents. And we will be appreciating our fathers to remind them that they're valuable, they're important, and they play a major role in this society. We'll be also hosting a Values and Attitudes campaign going down in the month of October, where we will be promoting positive values and attitudes among our students, among our parents. You know, throughout the education system and Jamaica at large, we want to send this message out to Jamaica that, look here, it's still possible for children to attain positive values, you know, and to show it, to demonstrate it in their behavior. And so we have that coming on stream as well. Also, we also have our annual conferences. We have our half-yearly conference and we have our annual general conference for the year. So those are really our major events that we will be looking at this year. We will also be looking at some community outreach programs through our membership and welfare committee. We'll be reaching out to some homes to give back and to contribute to these homes, elderly homes, children homes, and so forth. So we will be reaching out to Jamaica to let them know we are here. We're not just in the schools, but we're here to support. We're here to give of ourselves to this nation and to help Jamaica to become a better place.
Wonderful. That's a whole lot. But I want to get back to you. You spoke about healing camp.
Yes.
Could you elaborate a little bit about the healing camp towards your counselors? Sound very interesting.
The healing camp for counselors is a day that is set aside to help counselors to rejuvenate, to relax, and so to replenish themselves. So at a particular time, after a few terms in the school year, then we would take this time where counselors would come and be treated. So they'll get some amount of intervention to help themselves. We always hear the statement, who counsel the counselor. It's not necessarily a day where we'll be doing counseling, but the counselors will have that platform and that safe space to express themselves, to experience a refreshing moment of letting their hair down and to relax and, allowing themselves to be refilled.
So is that
it's refilling their cup for them to come back, to return to the work environment, strong again, ready to go again. So that's what our healing camp is really about, helping our counselors to heal, just to release the burdens that they've been carrying throughout the year.
So it's that they have de-stress in your whole body and sense.
De-stressing, right. Emotionally, mentally, and even physically.
And based on what you have mentioned, I think guidance counselors really need that. And pity you couldn't get more than one day, probably could for the week.
Well, we are hoping to have two.
Two.
So we'll see how that plays out. Right, we're hoping to have at least two for the year.
Oh, that's commendable. Father's Day. Could you elaborate a little more on what the council will be doing? And what you are saying, this is across the island, right?
Right. The benefit concert, we have not yet set the venue, but the concert will really be about, it's entertainment, fun and entertainment, and it's seeing our counselors in another light, another perspective to them. So it would be so lovely for students to come out, families to come out. We have counselors that are singers. We have counselors that are poets. We have counselors that are comedians. And so the country will be seeing another side to our guidance counselors.
All right. For the concert. And do you have any venue in mind that where you want the concert to be kept and
Well, we do have some venues in mind, but we would not want to put it out there.
Right, for right now. Okay, fine. Understood.
But most certainly, once the information is confirmed, I will most definitely share it with you and hope that Bess FM would also come on board with us in helping us to promote these events across Jamaica.
I can tell you that Bess 100 FM is a station that loves children, and I know they will do anything to help. That's why they have me here.
Most certainly. And right. we would certainly want to extend an invitation to you to our Peer Counselors Conference. We'll be having 2 for the year, Eastern and Western. And so if you can't make it to the Western one, which is February 20th, then you can try for in November when we'll have the Eastern Conference. So we would love to have the conference going live, where you'll hear the perspective of our children and what they're experiencing in their school as peer counselors, some of the things, they have to deal with and the challenges they're having and so forth. So it would be a wonderful platform for you to interact with our children and even some of our guidance counselors.
Oh, my. Let me feel like I want to come already. All right? Yes, so very interesting. One of the things that I really want you to talk about now, because there's so many things that you have to do, and I think that it's a lot of work that you cut out but thank God for you. Father's Day. I know that many of us, we are happy for our mothers, but, when you say Father's Day, I think the counselors look very deep and to say, well, we have to look towards our father. Could you tell us a little bit, because I know it's June, and for sure I will promote as much as possible more on this program here. So tell us a little bit more about the Father's Day plan that you have for our fathers.
All right. So it's not necessarily Father's Day plans, but we could have done the concert any other time of the year.
So the concert around Father's Day then?
Yes. So the concert, while the counselors will be showcasing their talents, we're doing it within the month, within the time for Father's Day, and we'll be giving special highlights to our fathers, because we're pretty much aware that the mothers tend to get most of the attention. Yeah. But we really want to highlight our men. We want to highlight the work that they have been doing and the support. Usually when we do an event in our schools and the fathers turn out, it's something to be lauded. And so we really will be making an effort to not just showcase our counselors, but we'll be having some special features for our fathers. And we'll most certainly would be happy to come back on your program when we would have fine-tuned all the plans for this event. We'll be happy to come back and to give you further details onto how we plan to do all of these highlights, how we plan to acknowledge and to award our fathers and to make them feel extra special within that time.
God's willing, Mrs. Anderson, I promise you that God's willing, you will. And you have the opportunity to talk about your Father's Day program. I'm giving you 1 more minute. I'm almost at my end of my program, so the time is short. Just giving you 1 more minute. Maybe something you wanted to say, then just give it a minute to wrap up something.
Well, let me say first, thanks again for inviting me on this program this evening. I know that the program's focus is around youth resilience and empowerment. And I want to just say something in regards to that for the young people that may be listening, and even our guidance counselors that may be tuned in this evening, the families that may be tuned in, is just to continue to keep a positive mindset, continue to push, continue in life, not to give up. The challenges in life will continue to come. And the journey sometimes is hard, but never lose hope. Never lose hope and never lose sight. Never forget that God is always able, and that as long as you are here, there's a purpose on your life that God wants to fulfill. And so I want to just encourage somebody to keep going, keep pushing. Tough times don't last, tough people do. And you will definitely make it through whatever your challenges are.
Thank you.
God bless you, Sir Mclaren.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Henderson. Let me say this, a powerful woman. And I would say a woman that Jamaica would love to have, She's from Region 7. And Region 7 is region, where find Region 7?
Region 7, Clarendon.
Oh, Clarendon, that Region 7. Thank you very much. We are so happy to have you on this program here. And I pray and hope that God will give you the strength and so many things that you have to do. I pray and trust that it will come through. And this program is here to support and to promote whatever you're doing. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless our listeners. Same place, same time. God bless you next week.
Thank you. God bless.
Best 100